Okay, this video I'm going to try to come up with a solution for this drawing right here, Interpreting Drawings 2 from SolidProfessor. So first off, as always, we want to make sure our units are set correctly. This one is set to millimeters, and we want to also set our material. So we're going to edit our material, and this one is copper. So we'll go to copper alloys. And what does it have? Okay, I got it set to copper, but for some reason when I set my units, it did not change the units in here. According to my document says that the units, the density should be 0.0089 grams per millimeter cubed. So we want to make sure that that is correct. I don't want to assume that because this is prepping you for CSWA, and we can't afford to make those kind of mistakes. So I'm going to go to units and go down here to mass. Okay, let me just double check that one more time. I don't know why. Should be good. Alright, let's see. Try that again. Still showing up here in pounds per inches cubed. See why that didn't change. Well, I'll have to take a look at that later on. Let's get going on drawing this part. Alright, so this part lends itself to being drawn from the top view, which is this view right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. And as always, I like to incorporate the origin. So start right there. Make these tangent. Okay, let's throw some dimensions on these things. some of these dimensions you're going to have to look at various views to interpret the dimension. Whoop, that's supposed to be 60. Alright, this one we're going to have to do a little differently, so we'll do that later on. Let's see, trim this guy out. Okay, getting this distance here, which what I'm trying to find here is this distance from here to here. It's a little tricky because what you need to do is you need to look at this radius, and because that's a radius we know, and then because we know it's tangent to that, we know that it's 40 millimeters from there to there, and then there's an extra 10. What I mean by that is a complete, it's a quarter of a circle there, so it goes all the way up, because we know that the height of this is also 40, and that's the radius of that, so that's an additional 10 to there, so we've got 50 again. So I can go back over here and put this dimension in at 50. Is that what I wanted to do? No, it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that at 40 because I want to offset those lines by 10 all the way in. Alright, so offset entities, we're going to offset this 10, we're going to also offset, oops, can't do those together. Let me undo that. Do these again, hit OK, and then we'll come back and do these in the opposite direction. Alright. And we need to do this one down here. Trim this guy out. Whoop. Ah. Now trim this guy out. Alright. So, this part we can either extrude or not extrude. Got to trim these guys here. And now we got to figure out what heights all of these things need to be. You'll notice that I left off a chamfered feature over here and another feature on this side because we're going to need to build those a little differently. So let's take a look at some of these heights and see what we can come up with, and then we'll make our edits. So I'm going to exit this sketch, extruded boss. This guy is going to go all the way up to the 120. Come back in here again, extruded boss. This case, this section is going up 100. The illustration or drawing rather is showing us it in this view as 20 less, so we can type in, we can do the math. 120 minus 20, hopefully you can do that in your head, that's 100. But if there was an odd number and you didn't want to do the math in your head, you could type in 120 minus 20, give us that height. Alright, let's keep rolling here. So the height of all of this is 40. 35 is the depth of that cutout, so it's 5 to the bottom of that if we want to do that. So these are all at 40. So let's do those. Oops, I think I forgot to draw a line there. I'm going to have to go edit that sketch. Let's take a look and see. I think I forgot. Where is it? Yes, I forgot that. I forgot to offset that line there. So let me fix that. I'm going to go back and edit that sketch. Look normal 2. I need a little offset line here. Alright, looks like I forgot to put that guy in there as well. Alright, mistake to not move forward without a fully defined sketch there, so we'll straighten that out. Shouldn't affect any of these. We can come back in and Extruded Boss and select that sketch again. This time we can set this section up to 40. One more time with our Extruded Boss. Select this sketch. We got this section right here that wants to go up 5. Alright, so now we got to put that curved feature on the side. We got to do the chamfer over here, and we got to do a little work cutting away over here. So let's go for this easy one here. So I'm going to put a sketch right on this surface here. Normal to that. Let's take a quick peek at that drawing again. Alright, so it's essentially a 40-inch radius around, and can do that any number of ways. Alright, so that takes care of that. Oops, must have made a mistake somewhere along the line here. Oh, I didn't give a value on that. I did. Something's wrong here. I did some math incorrectly. That should be ending right there. So what did I do wrong? Let me go back to this sketch, take a peek. Oh, yep, I had 50 on the wrong side. Alright, so this part should have been 40. Try that again. Alright. There we go. That looks better. So now we can convert entities and take these guys onto this sketch and finish that up. So if I go to convert entities, I should be able to select that guy and that guy. Hit OK. Trim this out here. Exit our sketch. I'm going to go to Features, Extruded Boss. Select that guy. And then we can say up to. That should fill that in. All right. And hit save. I think for some folks this was called CSWA T1 practice, or whether you can, that's fine. You can put my name on there. All right, find my folder here. All right, so we're not quite done yet. We got to, as I mentioned, put that chamfer on there. So let's see what that looks like. So it's 100 from there and cut off, and it's 75 here. All right. Oops, I forgot already. I think 75 on the height, 75 and 100 over. Okay. So click here, throw a sketch. Oop, got the wrong sketch plane. Try that again. Create a sketch. Here we go. So we said we needed a line that started here somewhere, went to here. I'm going to close this up. I don't think I drew another line there. All right, let's try that again. All right, this distance was 75. This guy was 100. We have a fully defined sketch. Exit. Extruded cut. Up to surface. Ooh, that's interesting. You know what? I think we should just do a through all. There we go. Let's make sure that looks like the part. Yep. Little part of that radius right there. Alright. So we got that done. So we have this step. We need this little feature here, and I think we're all done. So that's a little tricky in that it's 15 down, but they didn't give us this distance here. So how are we supposed to figure that out? The only way to figure that out is to come up this distance, go over at that angle, and then come down that amount. So that's the only way we're going to be able to do that, is to use that angle and that number. So let's take that on. So it's 55 with a 60-degree angle. Alright. Select that surface, sketch, it'll look normal too. I'm going to put a line up here somewhere and just put it out there like that. I need to give it a dimension. From the bottom to here is 55, and that angle is 60. Now we need to draw a line here. It comes, whoops, I need my line tool. I need to come down. Need to be vertical. And I need that line to be, what was that? I think it was 5. Nope, 15. Alright, what I'm looking at here is this value right here. It's 15 and my 60 and 55, just double checking those. Alright, so this guy becomes 15. Notice it shifts it over to the right location for me. Alright, now I can trim this guy off, close up the rest of this and make our cut. Notice SolidWorks makes those black for us because they are right on the existing geometry. So now once again we can exit and go to Extruded Cut, and we'll do a through all as well. Alright, well, I did that pretty quickly, so hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. Copper, let's go to our mass properties and see what we get. Okay, according to this, my mass is 16557.25 grams. Now I'm getting a density of 0.01 grams per cubic millimeter. And what did this tell us before? Yep, okay, so that's correct. It's rounded that value up, 0.00 or 0.01. If we go 4 decimal places, we should add 89. We can double check that by going in here to our units, taking out the mass, 4 decimal places, and let's see if it matches just to make sure. Alright. So the density is correct, and here's our mass. Alright, so I'm going to just double check our drawings real quick to make sure everything is correct. So if we go in here to sketch 1, take a look, it's fully defined. Let's take a look at our dimensions real quickly. 180 and 160, those are correct. $160, those are correct. A radius of 50, that looks correct. Alright, we can go in and check some of these others. I'm going to compare my notes with some of the other students, and hopefully we came up with the same thing.